Welcome, welcome, awesome entrepreneurs. I am so thrilled to kick off this journey with you. This podcast has been a labor of love and in the works since last year. And I want you to know that I heard you. I was writing blog posts, sharing my heart, and giving you everything that I know. And you all told me that you wanted to listen to some awesome help for your business. So here we are, because I know sometimes listening is easier than reading. So today's episode will be one that we will most likely refer to a lot. That's why I chose it to be the first. Really knowing your ideal client will help you in making pretty much any decision in your business when it comes to marketing. And I call bull on so many of the details that are often used in this quote, ideal client avatar, worksheets, and other resources that I've seen online. So in this episode, instead of just saying nope to these so-called rules, I'm going to put some new questions out there, a new way to look at your ideal client. Keep listening for the 5 questions that can help you define your ideal client. And if you love this episode, I would love it if you would leave a review on iTunes. This podcast, I feel like, is just me jumping off a cliff. And I would love if you would just give me a high five. So I can't wait to move forward in this journey with you and help you set yourself up for success in your business and your life on your terms. Because when you're the boss, you make the rules. So I'm super excited. Let's get going. Hey there, awesome people. I am Brooke Summer, and you are listening to Business Straight Up, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs to learn, connect, grow, and build the business and life that they dream of. Welcome, let's get going and dive right in. Hello, awesome entrepreneurs. I am so excited to have you join me on this, the inaugural episode 001. And this is a crazy experience. The Business Straight Up podcast is brand new. I'm so happy to have you here. And I have a huge list of ideas that I want to talk about that I've been teaching about for quite a while. But when it came to the first episode, that's a lot of pressure. I was like, oh, damn, what am I going to say in this first episode? And I really wanted it to be something that is meaty and that helps you really think about your marketing and your business. And really the foundation for that is your ideal client. So I'm excited to walk you through 5 important questions to build and define your ideal client profile so that you can sharpen your marketing and book the dream clients that you really want to work with. This is something that I teach so often and I work with people so much on, and it's so important with your business and really everything that goes into it, any decision that you make. So let's dig in. First of all, I'm going to tell you, excuse me, a little bit about myself. So I decided to open my photography business with my point and shoot camera. Oh yeah. And I shot my first senior session in 2006 for a whopping, hold on, wait for it, $20. Yeah. At the beginning, I shot and did everything. I wanted to be everything to everyone so that I could be hired as much as possible and have a ton of clients, because that's what success is, right? In 2009, when I found out that boudoir photography was in fact a thing, I knew that's what I wanted to do. But again, I wanted to be everything to everyone when it came to boudoir. And so I worked with some clients that just weren't a great fit. There wasn't anything wrong with them. They just wanted things that I didn't really want to do. They wanted an experience that was very fast, kind of an in and out, like a quickie, which is not really what I wanted to provide. So I knew I had to change things up a bit. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I kept shooting, and I remember the first client that I had that really valued what I did and was so invested in her session, Mrs. D. After her session and her sales session, I spent some time really thinking about what made her different. Why did I enjoy working with her so much? And in the end, it really came down to working with clients who are on board with my mission and my overall goals for my business. Not necessarily revenue goals, not booking goals, but impact goals. and the way that I really wanted to serve women and impact lives. So that was huge for me. It wasn't just about sexy photos. It was about helping a woman to see herself in a certain way. And I wanted to work with clients who were on board with that. So how do I determine, how do I find these people? Are they unicorns? Are they just wandering in the woods? I really need sexy photos of myself. And it really comes down to looking at your ideal client. What do they love? What do they worry about? So let's look at 5 questions that you can work through to really build an ideal client profile and define your ideal client. So you can know her, love her, and most of all, serve her and impact her life, add value to her life in a positive way. So I'm going to go through these 5 questions. I'm really excited to go through these. I feel like this is such a foundation for marketing your business and reaching the right people so that you can be successful. And I am going to create a freebie that you can find in the show notes at businessstraightup.com/001, because this is the first episode. Oh yeah. So, let's look at the 5 questions. And yes, I said serve her because a lot of times we are serving women. Women make most of the purchasing decisions, but really it can be female, male, whoever you're really reaching out to. These questions will apply. So when I go through this and I use the pronoun her or she, just know that this can apply to anyone. So number 1, what is their background? So let's talk a little bit about this because I'm so tired of hearing people say, oh, you have to know your ideal client. And that means how much they make and their age and their demographic and how much money they spend at certain stores and what stores they shop at, because I call bull. I think that is ridiculous. And when it comes to an ideal client, you really need to look at very specific things. And when I say what is their background for this first question, I want you to think about where do they come from? So not geographically, not the fact that they lived in Texas and moved to Colorado, whatever, but did they grow up in a large family? Were they always trying to stand out? Were they the baby and they're used to having things always their way? Were they the oldest child that had the tightest rules and so they're a little rebellious? Really think about their background. Are they an only child that really wants connection with others? Did they always want to be a mom? Did they grow up with someone super critical that made them doubt themselves? What is their background and how does that affect who they are today? Where do you fit into that? Really consider this. What is their background? And when I say consider this, I really think that it would be very important for you to sit down in a quiet space in an office, turn on some lovely music, whatever helps you think, and kind of just write. It doesn't have to be in perfect lines. It doesn't have to be a perfect format. And I will provide a little worksheet for you. But grab your colored pens, sit down and just write. Who is this person that you want to serve? Who is this person that you want to impact? All right, question number 2. What do they value most? Again, do not turn this into, well, they make approximately $75,000 a year in income and they drive a Mercedes. No, that's ridiculous. It doesn't matter how much someone makes if they don't value what you do. So I want you to answer for question number 2, what do they value most? Are your ideal clients busy professionals that don't want to deal with tons of meetings because their time is crazy limited? Are they going to look back on this chaotic time in their lives and know that it was all worth it because they're going crazy with a million kids running around? Are they empty nesters finding a second chance of love that really want to focus on spending every second they can together? Really think about what your ideal client values most. And I know that it can be difficult to really kind of put words into their mouths, but when you have worked with clients that you absolutely love, you kind of have these conversations and you get to know them. For instance, my clients value travel and adventure. Not everyone is like that. Some people just want to stay at home and they love their homes. And if you're a lifestyle photographer, that's perfect, because then you want to go into their homes and remind them how much of an oasis their home really is. If you are a caterer or a cake decorator, gosh, I'm thinking of all the people that I know I work with, or maybe a chocolatier or any of these creative professions, really think about what your clients value. Do you serve corporate clients who need very specific logos on their products? Do you serve crazy creative clients that don't want to give you a ton of direction because they want you to just go for it? Really think about your ideal client and what they value most. So that is question number 2. Question number 3, what are their challenges or frustrations? What keeps them up at night? This is hard. And again, I really, really encourage you to sit and just dream. Give yourself a half hour to go through this and just blah on the paper. Just write it all out. Do it in not even straight lines, just kind of scribble it out and really consider these questions. So number 3, what are their challenges or frustrations? Are you looking to target moms that worry that their kids are growing up too fast? If so, what services and what things can you offer them to help them with that? Are they business owners that have taken over an aging business from parents and they want to revive it? Maybe they need help with moving the business into this new era of running a business. Maybe they don't have a website. Think of the different things that they're facing, their challenges that you might be able to help with. Are they brides that are worried about losing themselves in their wedding because they're worried about pleasing everyone else? Man, that can be really difficult. So many brides fall down this rabbit hole of, well, grandma really wants this, mom really wants this, and they're so worried about everyone else that they forget to take care of themselves. What are their challenges or frustrations? What are they really worried about? And this can also be, what are they afraid of? Are they parents that are afraid of time moving too quickly? Are they moms that are afraid of maybe their last kid is leaving the nest and now they're going to be home with hubby on their own, and they're kind of scared of re-navigating that relationship? Really go deep. Think about your ideal client and what she's worried about, and think about all those conversations that you've had with your clients in the past, and really just write it down. Number 4, what are they currently facing in their life that is affecting their decisions? So I kind of already touched on this because it does have to do with fears and challenges and frustrations, but think about the situations that someone is facing in their lives. So some of these will be super obvious, like a wedding. If a bride is facing a wedding, obviously she has some decisions on her plate that are not normal everyday decisions. This is not like I get up in the morning and I have to decide what type of cake I want to have for breakfast. Like, that just doesn't normally happen unless you like cake for breakfast, in which case you go, girl. So some of these will be really obvious, but what about the others? Like, what about, as I said before, parents who are facing children leaving for college? That's kind of a weird life transition. It means that their everyday lives are changing. What about someone who may be facing a divorce? What are they going through? I know when I got divorced, one of the things that was really difficult for me was to redefine family and to make it okay in my brain to say that family is not just a mom and dad and 2 children and that's it. I had to redefine that for myself. And you may be reaching out to ideal clients who may be redefining family. Maybe they need help with that. Maybe there's something that you can do to help them redefine family and look at that in a different light. What about people that are facing adversity because of a diagnosis? Maybe someone is facing a cancer diagnosis and they have to relook at their entire life and the time that they spend with someone and the time that they may not have with someone. There are so many different situations. There are people that rarely get to see their loved ones and want to get every second of time with them when they can. And this could especially be kind of a fantastic niche for an area that is full of tourism. If you have people that are traveling to your area and you want to reach out to them specifically, that could be an amazing opportunity, especially if they're family members that don't usually get together. So think about all of these situations that we all kind of go through in life. There are seasons. There are seasons of crazy, wild, fun parties, and there are seasons of, oh my gosh, I just had a baby. What the heck do I do with this little person that depends on me? And there are seasons of, I want to start a business and I don't know what the hell I'm doing and I need help. There are seasons of our lives that will ebb and flow depending on where we're at. But I really want you to consider, what season of life is your ideal client in? What are they facing that could be something that transcends what someone makes? I hate it when people talk about ideal clients and they're like, well, what's their income bracket? Like, who effing cares? Like, come on, people. You need to be considering all of these different things that go into someone's life, not just what they make or where they shop. So think about what they're facing in their life. What will be affecting their decisions? Are they maybe going to a one-income household? Are they seeing their kids go into high school and all of a sudden they have a lot of free time on their hands? Think about all of these possibilities and the things that go into their lives, and you will kind of get a glimpse into a little more about what's important to them and what could be affecting them. So, I feel like we spent a lot of time on that one. So let's talk about number 5. What excites them the most or makes them happy? So I am totally guilty about this and I get super excited. I remember the first time I saw fireflies, I was like pretty much crying. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because we don't have them in Colorado. So when I was in Illinois, I was like, this is just magic. I can't even breathe right now. I was so excited. Think about what excites them the most. What makes them happy? What is something that if someone could guarantee they would have forever unquestioned, they would be absolutely thrilled? Don't think about the tangible here, okay? So tangible is something that you can touch, something that you can hand to someone. That's not what we're talking about, because everyone would be thrilled to have someone just hand them $1 million every day. Like, hey, here you go. Here's today's stipend. And you'd be like, yes. But that's not what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about the things that aren't tangible, the things that you can't buy, the things that make up the memories that we love to have, the things that we go back to if we're having a bad day and we just really need a happy memory. What are those things that we will think about that make us happy, that bring us joy, and that excite us? So things like confidence, love, laughter, an uplifting experience, rolling around on the ground with their kids and laughing without their phone or without someone telling them that they have to do something, hanging out with their husband under the stars with a campfire going, or going out with the telescope with your kids in the middle of a field. I feel like I'm just pulling these from my own experiences because I know what I love. I actually have my dream board right in front of me, the things that I love, that I dream of, that make me happy, bring me joy. And sometimes you'll find that your ideal client's characteristics will closely match your own, and that's okay. But I want you to think about the things that bring them joy, the things that are not tangible, that you can't buy, that people want, but you can't necessarily create without a little help. So, 5 questions to really dig in to your ideal client experience. And I want you to think of overall, number 1 question. I know I said 5. This is the magic one. What do you offer that can address anything that you've written down so far? That's a hard one, right? What can you offer that can help address one of their fears? Or what can you offer that will bring a little joy into their life? There are things that you can offer beyond just your services that will help bring a little extra into someone's life. So, for example, I am a boudoir photographer. I specialize in boudoir. It's very rare that I shoot anything else just because boudoir is what I love. I love to impact impact the lives of my clients and make them feel amazing. I want them to look at their photos and know that they are beautiful no matter what they look like when they first wake up in the morning. That is something that I can offer them, not just because of the photos, but because of my expertise that goes into the photos and because of me. I have a gift for helping people feel comfortable. And at first, when I was younger, I was like, well, that's kind of a crappy gift. Like, who wants that gift? But it has served me well in that I can help women to feel comfortable and put their guard down, even if it's just for a couple of hours. What do you have? What value can you offer to your clients? Because in the end, that's really what this is all about. You need to be able to provide value to your clients through an unforgettable experience, an unforgettable service, or just an overall experience that is crazy awesome. You need to be able to add value to their lives, and not just in the services you offer, but also in every interaction that you have with them. It's all about serving them and helping their lives to be a little better every day. Because when you do that, you will have clients lining up at the door to get a little bit of that, because we all need that. So, what can you offer that can address any of the things that you've written down so far? And I know that that's a hard question. We actually just talked about this in the Facebook group because it's all about value. We all know these people that maybe live in this teeny tiny apartment, but have a TV that takes up the entire wall that you know costs more than the rent for that apartment, because that's what they value. That's what they love. And there's nothing wrong with that. For me personally, I would probably eat ramen noodles for a year in order to travel. There are things that I love, and there are priorities that we have, and everyone has different priorities. So I want you to think about what you can offer that will add value to your clients' lives and address anything that you've written down. So, how are we doing? Checking in. I know I just threw a ton at you. I do a lot of Facebook Lives, so it feels kind of weird to me not to be able to ask for questions right now. But this audio thing is a new thing for me, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I think it will be an amazing experience. I know that I already have several episodes recorded with these amazing female entrepreneurs, and I have so many listed that we're going to share in the future. And I want to offer you a little bit of homework. I feel like podcasts never really do homework, but this is it. This is your homework. I want you to write down your ideal client story. If it helps, choose a name. So name your ideal client. If you want to make it up, cool. If you're like, this is Diana, and I just got that name because I'm staring at the Wonder Woman Lego figurine on my desk. But choose a name. Tell me where she's from. And again, I don't mean geographically. I'm talking about, is she from a big family? Is she from a small town and maybe has different values than the people who live in big cities because they grew up with different cultural norms? What does she value? What does she love? What will she save for a year to do? Because it's that important to her. What does she value? What does she face? What is coming up for her as far as a situation or maybe a life change that she is potentially facing? What does she worry about? What keeps her up at night? What does she fear? What is she terrified of? And, some of these are across the board. If you're talking about moms, we all think about, we want the best for our children. We want them to be safe. So go beyond the norms. Go beyond what is a common thread for pretty much most mothers. Go beyond that and tell me what she fears. What does she see in the mirror every day when she wakes up that she thinks about, that is weighing heavily on her? And what can you provide that would help her in some way? How can you add value to her life? How can you serve her so that in 6 months, she could say, now most people won't say this, but she could say, my life is a little brighter because of my experience with you. That is huge. And when you have a client that can honestly say that, it is the best, most amazing feeling in the world. So a quick note of caution. Remember, even if you have something to offer that you want to offer to everyone, please, please, please remember that you are one person and there are only so many hours in a day. I would love for every woman in the whole wide world to have boudoir photography. I think that it's that important, but I am just me. I do 1 session a day. I do 2 days a week with clients, and there is no possible way that I can even work with all the women in Denver in a year. So remember that you are one person and there are only so many hours in a day. With the service that you provide, there are a finite amount of hours that you can spend helping someone. And you want to be able to appeal to the people that not only want to work with you, but value what you do and they're excited to work with you. If you want to move into some charity work or other things to help feed your soul when it comes to offering to other people, that's okay too. But right now we're going to talk about ideal client because this episode, I'm sure, is going to be referenced over and over again. I can already see myself in future episodes saying, we talked about this in episode 1. Check it out, because the ideal client profile, some people call it the ideal client avatar, is really that important. When you have this homework done and your ideal client story done, you will be able to answer any question about your business that may come up based on this information. So if you have an amazing advertising opportunity come up, all you have to do is ask yourself, if we're going to use Diana from earlier, is this where Diana would be looking for me? Is it worth advertising there? If the answer is no, that's a pretty clear no, that it's not a great opportunity for you. This will impact every marketing decision you make, every social media post that you do, every blog post that you do, every web page that you set up will have to go through the lens of your ideal client. Would this appeal to my ideal client? I'm writing on an Instagram caption, Would Diana love this Instagram post? Why did I choose Diana? That's so weird to me. Oh yeah, Wonder Woman. So you can ask yourself with every decision, would my ideal client really love this? If the answer is no, then it's probably not a great fit. If you're writing a caption that just feels blah and you know that your ideal client isn't going to love it, why the hell are you doing it? Write for that ideal client. Write what you know they will love. Be authentic in wanting to impact their lives, and you will have clients that not only value what you do, but are excited to work with you. And once you start working with those dream clients, you will never want to go back to the soul-sucking clients that just make you want to hide under your desk, I promise. So, write out that ideal client story. I know it seems like a lot of work. It will take some time. Give yourself a half hour to an hour to do it, but really write it out and go through all of the details, because it will really help you narrow down that ideal client, which will help you in pretty much every business decision that you will make moving forward. So I am so excited that you could join me today for the inaugural episode of the Business Straight Up podcast. I do have a freebie for you. It is your ideal client profile. You can see it in the show notes at www.businessstraightup.com/001. You can also subscribe on iTunes. I would love to have you subscribe. I feel like this podcast is like me just jumping off a cliff and hoping for the best. So subscribe on iTunes or your podcast provider of choice. And please, if you loved this, will you leave me a review on iTunes? As I said, it's kind of me jumping off a cliff. I don't have any sponsors. I'm doing this because I really love to serve and work with amazing businesswomen. And your reviews will help me get into the earbuds of more listeners, serve more people, and just set aside this cliche of men ruling the world of business. Let's knock it down, ladies. We can kick ass and make this work. And I'm really excited to do that. So leave a review, go to the show notes, download your freebie. I am crazy excited to work with you in future episodes. And if you have any questions, please ask at www.businessstraightetup.com. We also have a Facebook group that is a really fun discussion. So I look forward to working with you, and reach out. I can't wait to talk with you. Thank you so much for listening to Business Straight Up. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Check out the show notes for this and all of the episodes at businessstraightupodcast.com. And I can't wait to talk with you again. Have a great day.